And something that we've been wanting to talk about is depression. And like when I first met Danny, if you don't mind me saying, like when we had like loads of deep chats and stuff, you were still going through a bit of depression, and I was as well.
A lot, because I think a lot of people think that depression is just that somebody's upset and they're not feeling well, and it's not that at all, is it? And getting things off my chest, or getting any worries off my chest before they start to manifest into something that can be out of control.
I think that's spot on. It's working out spaces where you can just literally offload and be yourself. Hey up everyone, and welcome to our Mental Health Gym podcast.
I love you, alright? I just wonder why you were pushing a screw then to start it off.
I was trying to be all professional.
Right.
And then I'll just put you around a little bit. I'm trying to cover boob and belly because that's what's happened in this pregnancy. Nothing else fits me. So I'm wearing a charity shop find party top.
Talking to the microphone.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is why it cuts out. This is why it cuts out, guys, because she don't listen to me. Never does. So back in the gym. Back in the gym again. So, but do you know what? I've got to say, I am quite liking this gym. This kind of gym, doing me good, just talking to you and putting it out there, and then you guys giving a bit of feedback. So yeah.
And it's so lovely getting all your comments on YouTube as well. And something that we've been wanting to talk about is depression, because a lot of you contact us and you're suffering from depression and low mood, and whether it be for a long period or a small bout. But whatever it is, it can be really debilitating. But what I wanted to talk about as well is us two both as so-called entertainers. So I used to do belly dancing and presenting and stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously you do all the YouTube, and you're putting on a performance to an extent, even though it's yourself.
Yep.
It's about how you manage that. So, and even if you're not an entertainer at home, you'll be putting on a performance, whether it be for your partner or your kids. You're always putting on that face, even when you feel rubbish. So it's actually talking about what is the truth. And I always say the truth behind my smile, for example, because I could be really sad and I'll still smile.
A lot, because I think a lot of people think that depression is just that somebody's upset and they're not feeling well, and it's not that at all, is it? It can be a variety of things where you are upset, you're not feeling well, but it's like you're down in the dumps, you're worried about something, and it can just lead you in this downward spiral, and then it can lead to depression of, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, and it's loads of things. But me, as like you say, as a performer, as a YouTuber, when I've been performing, you do have to put a face on a lot of the time. And it's like, hey, look, see, told you. Sorry, guys, sticking my finger in front at thing then, because we've turned up to do this today, and this is it, you see, because sometimes as well, when you're rushing about, you forget things, don't you? Charge my phone. But no, for me, it was difficult at some points, because I'd go out and I'd perform, and I'd be filming for Rate My Takeaway, or filming on TV, doing a radio show, and you come across as jolly and happy, and yeah, everything's all right. But I then knew that I got to go home, and I've got things to do at home. I've got to sort the kids out. It maybe that the kids weren't feeling too good, or I've with my kids, there were issues at home that I got to address and talk to them about, and then it all sometimes got on top of me. And I found it very easy to hide away and not tell anybody about it. But I think one of the key things now I've found is that what works personally for me, because again, we're not professionals, this is just our experience. I find it that, like with you, when we first got in a relationship together, we said we were going to start off by just speaking the truth and telling each other how we're feeling. Yeah. So because I'm able to do that, I just find it so refreshing now that I can say, do you know what, love, I've had a bad day, and getting things off my chest, or getting any worries off my chest before they start to manifest into something that can be out of control, and then lead me into a depressive state where I'm then like, I don't want to think about that, I don't want to think about it.
And I think that's spot on. It's working out spaces where you can just literally offload and be yourself. And like when I first met Danny, if you don't mind me saying, like when we had like loads of deep chats and stuff, you were still going through a bit of depression, and I was as well. And it wasn't that we weren't ourselves, because you were still making jokes, so we both were. But when we weren't performing or entertaining for media, we were a lot more serious than people would think in our background. And it wasn't because it's fake what we talk and do in the media, but there's a certain level of you have to show up in a certain way. And you almost, sometimes I think it's good to have that little escapism. But for me, I think you had a good balance, whereas for me, I'd go through the highest highs, get really giddy with all the adrenaline if I was about to present or dance. And then I'd go the natural anyway, whether you get depression or not. As a performer, you get that drop in anxiety and that drop in adrenaline, so you get that big sharp spike and then a drop. So it can be hard to manage, which is why I think so many professional sports players, reality TV stars, people who've been on TV ages and then they stop, get quite bad bouts of depression often, because they're used to that adrenaline and then suddenly it goes.
Yeah. You're used to it being a certain way, aren't you? And like you said there, mentioned rugby players, so as some of you know, that I quite enjoy my rugby, and I know quite a few rugby players, and I've seen it where they've been, day in, day out, they're training, they're part of a team, they're part of a collective of people that, basically a lot of the time they do a lot of things together as a team. So then all of a sudden then to be doing that for 10 years, to then go to, I'm sat at home on my own here. What am I doing? Yeah, I've took kids to school. I've done school run now. What do I do? I'd usually be down at gym, or I'd be out for a coffee with boys and then looking forward to playing a game on a Friday night. What do I do now? It's difficult. It's difficult. And then when they do go out and people are still recognising them, they then get that rush of adrenaline again. But then within a matter of minutes, it's gone. And then they're back to feeling, well, this is not how I used to be. So it's difficult, isn't it? I
think that's what's really nice. We went to an All-Stars match, which is a charity run by Life for a Kid, isn't it? And it supports children's hospital charities and whatnot. But meeting kind of former professional rugby players, I thought that was such a nice balance that they had, because they were all playing together, and celebrities as well. And it was like they had that camaraderie again. They were doing something for a purpose. They had people there supporting. But also I think sometimes it is good to take a step back, because a lot of performers, we have breakdowns, we're just humans. So actually sometimes it is good to take a step back, but it's almost like a gradual step back rather than just going from all the time performing and then nothing. It's that kind of in between, which is good for your mental health, but you're still getting that nice buzz and that camaraderie.
Yeah. And like I said, we're only talking from personal experiences, and it's like, I think as well, not so much with the rate my takeaway, but I know that when I used to perform magic, I used to get really nervous, especially like the first few times I did it. I got really nervous, and then I remember one show I did, and I thought, you know what, I've completely fluffed this, and I give them the money back, and they were fine with it. They were fine, but I just felt myself I could have done a lot better. But then that led to anxiety for the next time, and it like days leading up to the next one, I went into a bit of a downer, because I'm thinking, if I do that again, and then I was convincing myself that I would, and I think that, then when you start, then depression sets in, and you're like, oh no, if I do that again, it's going to ruin it, and then people are not going to want me back and all this. But luckily I went and I just blasted through it and got through it, and managed to overcome, the anxiety around the situation. But it's what worries me is how fast sometimes some people can go into a depressive state around things, because your brain can just tell you to do different things and make you think different things, and it's bad, isn't it?
Yeah, like they always say, follow the 5 ways to wellbeing. So that's to keep connected, to try and stay active, eat healthily, kind of get out and about in your community, learn and give. It's about growth all the time. And I think there's some of the best ways to try and stay well. But I do think sometimes as well, even if you're not an entertainer, well, it can. Depression can hit you at any point. And I think sometimes the worst time I know when I've been through depressive episodes has been when I've been at home and then I've gone through a long period of depression and there's not really been any cause.
Yeah.
And you're going, but on the outside, my life is perfect, but I'm trapped in this, like, almost like a snow globe. I'm trapped in the middle and I can see all these things happening. And I remember one Christmas, I would just literally lie under my covers, and it was to do with my eating disorder at that time. And I didn't want to face the Christmas dinner. I didn't want to face all the chocolate. I didn't want to face all that. And I could see all these happy things and memories around me, and I just could not engage with it. And I just remember just being lost. And everyone would be like, but you've got food on the table, you've got family around you. And that's the thing, it's not to... There's sometimes not even a real cause or a root cause to it.
Yeah. And do you know what, as well, I think like with that, when you see you've got people around, it's good to have people around you, but sometimes it's got to be people that understand, because sometimes you can have people around you that don't quite understand what situation you're in, and if they don't understand it themselves, it can make it very difficult for you. So if they're constantly asking you questions, if they're constantly saying, well, everything's all right, what's wrong with you? And it can make it feel really hard and difficult for you. So yeah, I think it's about surrounding yourself by people that understand you.
Yeah, and they get your cues, because people say, oh, it's good to talk, and sometimes it is, but for some people it's not about talking. So like Danny will always tell when I know when my brain's gone into a grey haze of like feeling overwhelmed, and then hopefully I can read from you when I know that you just need to focus on something positive and just be and just I'll deal with everything else, and you just
the
chill
reason
out.
why I giggled a little bit then is because when we first got together, you used to laugh, didn't you? Because I used to go, "You right, love?
Yeah.
You right, love?
Yeah.
Hey, you right, love? And, hey, you right, love?
Are you sure you're right?
Sure, you're right, love." And because I'd like, I could see by your body language that you were struggling with something, or there was something playing on your mind. But for me, I want to talk about stuff. But like, obviously, I've learnt pretty quickly with you that you'll talk about things, but before you talk about it, you've got to process it. And to be able for you to process things, sometimes it's quiet, leaving on your own, or you're going for a run or a jog and, doing a bit of exercise. So I know that now. Well, most of the time I know that. Sometimes I still go, "You're right, love." Or what did you say? You said something last night when I said, what do I do when I get on your nerves?
Oh, you'll poke me if like I'm in an annoying mood. What's up? And you'll flick me on the face.
Yeah, because I said, what's one thing that annoys it? We've been together now for a while, and I said, there's got to be something that I do that annoys you, and that's what it was. Because I go, well, I'm in an annoying mood now, and I just prod her because I want a response and I want to be like mischievous. That's what it is. I'm in a mischievous mood, and my thing is that she just leaves loads of crap in my car. To be honest with you.
Yeah, which I do. I did even notice that myself, and I didn't dare say it because I thought if I'm noticing it, Danny.
Well, she's noticed it because she walks in her house now and it's nice and tidy because it's all stacked up in my boot. And then that puts me into a depressive state because I'm thinking, no,
that's not proper depression. That's just being annoying, annoyed at me.
No, it causes me anxiety, sometimes.
I know that much, yeah. Because you like things in order.
Well, it's because in the boot of my car I had a box. I put things in the box that I know I'm going to be keeping in the car that I might need, and then I got all that space for stuff. But Sophie never uses the box.
But she uses bags. Like we were saying before when we've spoken on previous episodes, it's about like your coping mechanisms.
Understanding.
So yeah, it's trying to I know for you that's really like big, and even last night. So
she's cleared it all out today, haven't you?
I will. No, I promise. But I know that for you that's big, having things in order, because that just helps your mind. And then obviously if it was to get to an obsession, then that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
But I get why you need that, because as they do say, and it's true, I've had a declutterer at my house before, and it's like a tidy home, a tidy mind.
I used to know exactly what's in my car. Now I just have not got a clue. Dinosaurs. What?
Yeah. But and it's trying to work out what is. So we've gone off the video, but you can hear us on audio. So now you can see pretty photos of us.
Yeah, the pretty
instead
photos
of cutaways.
So I'm hoping that it's saved that video. So I'm going to have a look that it's saved the video.
Yeah, it has.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know about that. That's just telling us a different story. But yeah, so I'll let you carry on.
Yeah, so it's finding those healthy coping mechanisms rather than anything that becomes obsessive. But what we'd really love to know what has helped you. For us both, if you don't mind me saying, we both have had medication for depression and different mental health issues. And for me, obviously, it's exercise and medication. It's a combination which works. So I know there's 5 ways to wellbeing to stay as well as possible. But at the same time, in times of my life, and even now, I still have medication to give me that, just that little nudge up. Because sometimes I just think it's like a physical health issue. There's something in my brain that sometimes isn't functioning, a bit like if I had an issue with my arm or something. It's just that.
And also, like, don't do what I've done in the past and just think, oh, I'm all right now, I'll stop taking these. And then, it doesn't work like that, does it? When you've been taking something to help you, and then all of a sudden you decide that you're all right and you stop. There's a reason why we have doctors and they give you advice.
Yeah, yeah, we're not doctors.
Found that out the hard way.
But anyway, let us know what helps you. And also, if you've got any questions, anything you'd like answering, or if you'd like us to try different, we did some chocolate meditation, but if there's anything weird and wonderful you'd like us to try, I've heard of heavy metal yoga. That's something I think.
Do you know what I want to try? And I reckon we should do this and put this on as a video. I reckon we should set ourselves a task of doing it sometime in March now, aren't we? So we can't do it in March. Let's try it in April. All right. Rage room.
Yeah, rage room.
Yep, rage room. Let's try that.
I think that's definitely a winner because I need to learn how to have some anger.
Yeah. So with those rage rooms, you go in.
Yeah.
And there'll be like a TV and pictures and cupboards and all sorts of stuff, and you're in a boiler suit and some sexy glasses, and you get sledgehammer or whatever, and you just start smashing it up.
Wicked.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna have to find some rage.
Yeah, you can put pictures of it. No, you can't do that, can you? But yeah, so if you've got out like that you think we should try, let us know, and we can put a video up. That'd be quite cool just to see. I'd like to know how I would feel doing that.
Yeah.
Would it relieve tension? I don't know, because it's not my stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
And you know you've paid to smash it up.
Yeah, it would be I think that would be a good shout. So we're going to try getting raged.
I wonder if that's what my kids do every day in house. Have a rage room because they leave it a right messed up.
Yeah. Right. Thank you so much for listening and watching, everyone. And we will see you all next week.
See you soon. Bye-bye.